there was a lot of panic. But for me, I was very calm. And what's going to happen in California is really going to happen worldwide. It's not just a California thing, but I specifically saw the cities just not having a chance. Like, this all happened in a matter of seconds. There was this huge earthquake. It slid into about 6-7 years ago. I had a vision of something major happening to not just California, but basically the entire west coast of the United States. From around the top of the Cascadian fault line and above that, even like towards Vancouver, and then down all the way through the San Andreas, I saw that part of the continent was slowly being like broken off from the coast. And it looked like there was a huge rift like in the tectonic plate of that area. And this was around the time where there was a big eclipse happening. I think it was like the 2017 Great American Eclipse. The whole sky went dark, like around, well, it happened around my area. It cut through at an angle of the United States. And I saw like the whole continent kind of being ripped apart. And this is when I knew that there was something big going to happen. Like, I had just gotten saved. I wasn't really into anything about Jesus that much. Like, it was baby steps. And I was having these visions even before I had the salvation, so I didn't know what the visions had to do with. But I was having visions basically of a lot of destruction happening. And I thought that this was an avoidable thing. And that's why I got into a lot of like just positive vibes and manifesting, because I didn't want this to happen. But I started realizing that everything I was seeing was described in the book of Revelation. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, it all makes sense. So I saw California basically going into the water, and I saw that there would be a large wave of water that would come over that area of California and the West Coast areas and just inundate it completely with water. But I saw that beforehand there would be a lot of earthquakes leading up into this big like 10.0 on the San Andreas, and leading up into the tsunami type of thing. I saw there would be a lot of stuff going on, like a lot of little things happening first. And the fires, in my opinion, are due to this tectonic plate rock ripping apart. The subduction heat is going up to catch fire to the brush, and that's what's happening. And I also saw around the New Madrid fault line, which runs from like New Orleans area towards like upper Toronto, Canada area, I saw this also having a huge separation and a huge earthquake around the same time that the one happens in California. And I was like so frightened by this. Like, this is not like a good time, So I've spent so much time looking into what happened, and I found other people actually had the same dreams and visions that I had. And I was like so shocked, because I thought that like I was just losing it or something, And then I saw they were having the same stuff, and they were relating it to the idea that, Jesus is returning, and people do need to get saved. They do need to get salvation. The hour is late, and we're not in Kansas anymore, so to speak. I believe this is kind of like an inevitability when people turn away from Jesus, when they fully reject, want absolutely nothing to do with it, mock it, say it's stupid, say everyone's stupid for believing it. They're gonna have there's gonna be a reaction happening. And also, how long can Jesus bless a nation that turns away from him all the time? Basically, I came across footage too of, celebrities, whatever, mocking God at the Golden Globes. And this happened just a little bit of time before the Golden Globe was caught in that LA fire. And God will not be mocked, basically, and that's just the truth. And I know that a lot of people are resistant to that message, and I get it, but I just want to say that I feel like people should at least respect something that they maybe don't understand or don't believe in, instead of just automatically being like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Because what are you gonna do if it's real? What are you gonna do? I mean, this stuff is already happening. The fires are breaking out basically because of that land shifting. And the only reason that we have a good nation here for so long is honestly because we used to love Jesus so much, and we used to kind of not idolize, but you know what I mean, like prop Jesus up in our communities and our schools and everything. Like, it used to be a thing to believe in God. You didn't actually get mocked all the time and hated and spit on. And I also saw a very large planet in the sky, like a very red planet, coming closer and closer to the earth. And I can't say every little detail about what that is, but everybody who knows. And also, I saw big meteor showers coming down from the sky. I actually had a ton of dreams of lots of meteors and fireballs falling down from the sky a lot. Like, this was like happening for like months, like a lot of dreams. And those fireballs, they were like, there was a lot of panic, but for me, I was very calm. And what's going to happen in California is really going to happen worldwide. It's not just a California thing, but I specifically saw the cities just not having a chance. Like, this all happened in a matter of seconds. There was this huge earthquake. It slid into the ocean. That caused that continental plate to shift, and then the New Madrid broke off. And then on the other side, New York City area, there was a huge tsunami as well. And there was a huge drop in the land atmosphere, and everything just dropping down and sliding. And subsequently, the landmass, it could not withstand what was going to happen. The entire like part of the Atlantic Ocean coming in as that plate slid down. And I had a dream once. I was in a building in like New York City, and you just knew like something was about to happen. So I went and looked out one of these big, like, you know, those 20-foot windows, those really big 20-foot windows, and you look out and you can see like the whole cityscape, and you can see like onto the water. And like I saw like the water coming up, and then like the window shattering, and like I just remember thinking like, Jesus, please save me. And I knew like at that split moment, like a lot of people were not gonna make it. Like, they weren't gonna, it was gonna be a split second thing, and there was no time to run, there was no time to warn people, there was no time to get out. And I saw like big planets again. I saw like the planet Saturn, like right on the horizon skyline, and it was like huge. Like, it was like just ridiculously big, like a cartoon version of it coming in. And I saw like this sky like changing and turning all these crazy colors. And it's just been impressed on me. I know that a lot of people have visions and things, and I know that this is not a new thing, and I am not saying that my vision is like of the definite future at all, but Jesus has really pressed me on my heart to tell people what I saw. I'm not saying this in like a fearful way, and I'm not saying this as like, oh, let's freak out and get scared about it. I'm not saying it like that at all. I'm saying that all you have to do is put your trust in Jesus, and no weapon formed against you will prosper, and nothing like bad will happen to you. And if these things are events that happen, we just have to know that, again, Jesus is more powerful than anything. He's ultimately in control of it. So I've also had a ton of visions of UFOs and alien aircraft coming down, and I've had a lot of dreams about this. And one of my most vivid dreams, it was turning from like a suburban white collar neighborhood, blue collar neighborhood, and I was running door to door like warning people that there were like aliens coming down from the sky in UFOs. And then it turned into like this desert landscape, and all of a sudden the aliens had come down in like in front of you, like 1 foot away from you. And I just knew that they were evil, so I kept saying like, get away from me and stuff, and fighting them, and I was warning people with this other person that I know, and they were telling people, you should not speak to these aliens, you got to get out, like they're not what they seem. And he was telling people to believe on Jesus instead and believe that he is God. And it was like really chaotic because it was like me and this person I know, and the aliens were just, it was scary. Like, you knew that the aliens were faking being there for your help, and I kept saying like, the aliens are not here to help you, and like screaming that at everybody. And what's interesting again is, I can't get too deep into it, but the drones and the things that people are seeing, like whatever you want to call it, some of them are definitely for this whole plan, honestly. And I've been talking about this for like so long. I feel like there are new people, so I think that they are gonna have this narrative around this alien species that knew that there were going to be these huge natural disasters, and is going to try to placate and placate the public and almost baby the public into thinking, if you just trust us, like everything will be okay. And I have seen so often that these UFOs, they're gonna be huge, like meters long, like coming in the sky. They are not here for the benefit of anybody. You can look into Aleister Crowley and what these types of things actually are, because they're gonna say things like, we're actually benevolent, but they're not. And it's just all been wrapped up. I had visions of basically a war happening, like invasion happening on American soil, and that was also insane. But I have this very strong feeling that all of these events happen at one time. I do feel like that. And I do feel in Revelation 6, there is a huge earthquake that does happen. I'll put the verse right here, but there's a huge earthquake that happens. It moves all the mountains out of place, and that is one of the parts of the judgment of the book of Revelation. So I want to end it there with that little message for you guys. And if you have anything to add, I'd love to hear it. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and my dreams and stuff like that.